Hi there, this is Penelope. This is a short video in the series of short videos on a review of basic arithmetic skills. What we're going to look at here is ratios, percentages. If a whole number is separated into a number of fractional parts where each fraction has the same denominator, then the fractions form a ratio. For example, have a look at this one here. A quantity of brine contains 1/3 salt and 2/3 water. What's the ratio of salt to water? Well, we'd say that the salt and water are in a ratio 1:2. Now the next one is a little bit harder. They've got different denominators, so we need to take that into consideration. So 3/4 of A is the same as 9/12 of A, and 1/6 of B is the same as 2/12 of B, and the remaining 1/12 is a 12th, so then we've got a 12th of C. So now we can put them in a ratio of 9:2:1, and what we should see is that they all add up to 12. They all add up to 12. Let's have a look at practical questions here. 132 is divided between 3 people in the ratio 2:4:5. Find the smallest share. Now, if we add up the number of shares, there are 2 plus 4 plus 5 shares. So there's 11 shares. So one share is thus 132 divided by 11, which is 12. So one share is $12. So 2 shares, which is the smallest, is 2 times 12, which is $24. The next question, a box with volume 9,000 cubic centimetres has dimensions in the ratio of 3, 4, and it should say 6, 3, 4, 6. So now when we're working out volumes, it's 3 times 4 times 6, except that those aren't the lengths, those are the dimensions, those are the ratios. So what we really need is some number. It could be x, and that's got to equal 9,000. So we've got is 3 times 4 times 6, that's 72 x cubed is equal to 9,000. So x cubed is going to be 9,000 divided by 7, which is 125. So x is going to be 5, which means then the dimensions are 3 times 5, 4 times 5, and 6 times 5. So 15, 20, and 30 are the dimensions of that particular box. Now we move on to percentages. A percentage is just a fraction whose denominator is equal to 100. So if we're talking, say, 5 out of 100 people are left-handed, so 5 out of 100 people are left-handed, we can write that as 5%, because per cent simply translates, it's Latin for out of 100. Out of 100. So here we've got, what is the percentage of defective resistors in a batch of 25 if 12 of them are defective? So let's have a look. 12 out of 25 is the same as, we want the bottom line to be 100, so we need to multiply it by 4. It's 12 times 4 over 25 times 4, because we haven't done anything, we just multiplied by 1. So that's 48 out of 100, which we can write as 48%. Or we could have done it another way. We could have said 12 out of 25 times 100 and turn that into a percent. So that's 12 out of 25 times 100, which is 25 times 4. And cancel that. So then we've got 12 times 4 which is, as before, 48%. A fraction can be converted to a percentage by multiplying the fraction by 100. So to find the percentage part of a quantity, we multiply the quantity by the percentage part. So let's go. We're finding 24% of 75. So 24% of 75, remember of is times. So it's going to be 24 out of 100 times 75. We could probably simplify that, then we don't have to reach for our calculators. So we can say that's 6 times 4 over 25 times 4 times, now 75 is 25 times 3, and I can divide 25 over 25 is 1, 4 over 4 is 1, so I've got 6 times 3, which is 18. I can do the same to find 8% of 25. That would be 8 out of 100 times 25. So I could say, well, 8 is 2 times 4 over 25 times 4 times 25. So the 4 and the 4, that's 4 over 4 was 1. 25 over 25 is 1. And all I'm left with is 2. You can use your calculators. I'm just showing how you can do it without using your calculators. Now some proportion questions. 6 copies of a magazine cost $41.70. What does one magazine cost? So $41.70 divided by 6 is equal to, you might need your calculator, $6.95. It takes 5 men 15 minutes to peel a quantity of potatoes. How long would it take 2 men? These kind of questions are quite tricky. So 5 men or women working for 15 minutes gives you 75 minutes of potato peeling time. Now, if we're going to do that, divide that between 2 people, then it's going to be 2 men or women would take 75 over 2 minutes, which would be 37.5 minutes. Last question. Takes 5 people 120 minutes to watch a video. How long would it take 10 people? Okay, just beware of this kind of question. It's a bit of a trick question. The 10 people can watch at the same time, so it's only going to take the same length of time, so 120 minutes. Just watch out for those.